To connect with you today. My name's Leanne Peters and I'm from Temple of Balance, and this is our Patreon Healing List event for November 2022. My goodness, the 29th of November it is here. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Really, how fast everything's going. And yeah, it's very interesting. So welcome. Please let us know if you're watching. Please say hello. So the plan for today is our focus is on letting go. And this came through very strongly last night. Let go, surrender and release. Let go, surrender and release. Go, surrender and release. See which one of those really resonates with you in this moment based on what you've got going on in your life or how you feel right now. Sometimes for me, letting go really resonates with me. Like, hi, Kathleen. That's just the word that really speaks, that I resonate with whatever it is that I'm releasing or letting go of. Sometimes surrender is the word for me. Hi, Nadine. And sometimes release is the word for me. There may even be another one that you tend to go to. So it just depends on what I'm releasing. I can't really even say when or how they apply. Welcome. Hi, Bathsheba. Oh, and Janice, welcome. Yes, first time you can chat publicly. Teala's here too. Welcome. Looks like a lot of you are here. So actually, while I think of it, I keep meaning to take a photo, but I've been really busy in and out lately. Hi, Raven. But our seeds that we planted for new beginnings in September. Jane's here too. Hi, Jane. The potato seeds we planted in September with for our September healing event are flowering now. So once the flowers start dying, then I should be able to dig up some potatoes to eat. So this is really cool, and it seems to be happening really fast. Magenta, Mother Dragon, I love your name there for your YouTube, and well done, welcome. So that's exciting. So those of you who joined in for the September healing event where we planted those new seeds, there's been a lot growing and a lot happening in these last 2 months. Only 2 months. Incredible. So our focus today, though, is on letting go. And, you know, before we start, maybe really give some thought. If you've got your journal handy, it might also be helpful. And I'm going to pull a card around this. But maybe give some thought to what you're really holding on to tightly to at the moment. What are you holding on to tightly to that's getting you stressed or worried, or that's filling you up with complaints? You're complaining a lot about this situation or about this person. Has someone violated your boundaries? Yes. Has someone overstepped the boundaries? That's been happening a lot this week. Well, we've had to, like for me, I've had to really step up and assert myself and say, no, this is not acceptable. So I think that our boundaries may be tested, and we've had to hopefully have the strength to say, no, that's not what I accept. That's overstepping the mark. Maybe some of us haven't had the courage to say that, and maybe there's an anxiety almost that's coming through in our belly that makes us feel uncomfortable about this situation, that we may need to step up and clear the air or say how it is, or just say, no, this is not working for me. So there is that energy that's coming up as well. I think too, as we wind up the year, there's a lot of stuff that we've carried on our back. It feels for the last couple of years. And I can't help but feel it started around the time that COVID started. So in 2020, early 2020, that some of us have been carrying baggage that we've sort of accumulated over these last couple of years. Whether it's COVID related or not, it doesn't really matter. But it just feels like there's a cycle that sort of we're finalising, or like with the art class and the card reading club we're doing in December, we're finding closure on, or we're dropping those burdens and those that toxic energy that we've accumulated, almost like we're a magnet and we've kind of attract. Oh, so sorry, Bathsheba. and we've attracted this toxicity, or we've taken it on. You know, it's not always an external point of blame. You know, sometimes we blame someone for treating us this way, or we blame this situation, this unfortunate situation, for the way we feel. So we need to be really careful we're not blaming external situations for the way we feel, but knowing actually, hi Joanne, that we have really taken these things on board. They've affected us somehow, we're carrying them. We may feel like a pack mule that's carrying a big weight right now. So my plan is I'm going to pull a card now as we move into our time of letting go, releasing, letting go, surrender and release. I want to say it in that order. Let go, surrender and release. So I'm going to grab a card, then we'll do some smudging. And then I have assigned words to all of you on the healing list. I've assigned let go or surrender or release. So we'll get to that part in a minute. And then I've pinched Corey's Phoenix drum. So we're going to do some drumming. So let's grab a card for now to really hone in or help us understand or give us a perspective of what we may need to consider in regards to letting go, surrendering and releasing today, now, as much as we can. And whatever we're ready to release. I like to remind myself regularly that allow myself, give myself permission to let go of the things that are holding me back. Let go of the things that are not aligned with my highest truth. And I can feel, as I say that to myself, usually in my head, I can feel the burdens release, and I can feel the hold go, and I can feel the tension move out of my body. So I think sometimes we hold on to things for various reasons, but there's things we hold on to that we don't really need to. So here's our card. Oh, well, this is interesting. Card 74, Protected. It's in the neutral category here in center. And down here it says, stand strong. You know, it does take strength to be able to take that step to let go, surrender, release. It does require an element of strength. Also, in a lot of ways, the energy of vulnerability, but I do really feel that there is strength in vulnerability for the most part, that it takes strength to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. So stand strong. So strength is coming in. Safety. Protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property if you're concerned about that. A protective force field has been activated. So this is reminding us all that we are safe and protected. And this is really important when we're about to do some really deep letting go, because sometimes we hold on to things because they may be part of our identity, part of our story, part of our history, part of our relationship. They may be part of something within us that there might be a part of us that is scared to release because of what will change in our life, in our relationships, about ourselves when we do let go. So there is almost a need when we're letting go to also affirm our strength and protection and personal safety. You know, it's funny. For some reason, it reminds me of when I first put a sticker on the back of my car that was Temple of Balance. And I felt like I was going to be found and burned at the stake or something. Like it was really deep, this issue that came up just by driving around with this on. And this was when I was in my first marriage, and my husband at the time, he wouldn't even drive the car with Temple of Balance on the car. It was just really weird. And so I felt really self-conscious when I first drove just out with Temple of Balance on the car. And then I realized that I was safe. I had to let go of that fear of being attacked, or that fear of being suppressed, or that fear of being laughed at for that part of who I am. And that's just what comes to mind with this too. It also says on this card, step back, temporary, and a passing storm. So protection, safety, strength. Maybe if this resonates with you, summon that now. I'm going to light the smudge stick. Yes, judgment. Thank you, Bathsheba. Exactly. Let's light some sage. So take a nice big breath. So you can work with your breathing now to help support your release. And really let yourself let go, surrender and release as deeply as you can allow yourself to go. So this includes getting on board mentally. So maybe affirming, it is safe for me to let go. I am ready to surrender. I release everything that's holding me back. On a mental level, you could work with your breathing as you breathe in the new air and breathe out all of the old air. Let it go. You can work with your body to also help support your releasing, your letting go, your surrendering. So now take some nice big breaths. As we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it. So attracting to this smoke are things that we're ready to let go of. So we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks, and attachments. Also all violations of our boundaries, and anything we're holding on too tightly to right now that we are ready to release and to let go. Anything we're holding on to that is not in alignment with our highest truth, let's let it go. You can also work with the muscles in your body. So you could do a scan of your body from top to toe and notice where your muscles are tense. So scan all the muscles in your face, your neck, your shoulders. We do tend to carry burdens over our shoulders. So relax your shoulders, relax the muscles, all the muscles you find as you scan from top to toe, all the muscles that feel even a little bit clenched, let them go. Are you holding on in muscles in, are you holding muscles tightly in your belly? Relax them. You don't need to hold on. In many ways, holding on is the opposite of letting go. So maybe look at it too from that angle. What are you holding on to? And especially in the tightness of your muscles. Your thighs, are your thighs feeling tight and the muscles a little clenched? Just acknowledge it and soften those muscles and let your muscles relax. And just move all the way, if you resonate with this, down to your toes. The smudge stick's gone out. I suppose we don't need that anymore. And use your breathing to support that release. Okay, so I'm going to now read out your names and the words. I just printed everyone out and I just cycled through the words. Let go, surrender, release. So all of you on the healing list have one of those specific things assigned to your name. So as I say your name and as I say the word, you can also use that moment when your name is spoken and that word that's been assigned to you and the energy that word contains. You can use that as an opportunity to surrender further or release further or let go further. So stay aware of your body and notice what you might be resistant to as well, or what you might be holding on to. So nice big breath. I'm going to say your name first, then the word that goes with it. And then I'll just try and pause for a moment just to make it a bit of space and then move to the next person. I'm not going to pause for ages, but just for a couple of seconds. Carol White, let go. Susan Sonsteng, surrender. Andreas Kazantzidis, sorry Andreas, release. Kanti Devi Wedad, let go. Matthew Keith, surrender. Chelsea Keith, release. And just pausing here for a second, I'm also feeling that actually as we go through every name, whether it's your name or not yet, or whether your name's already been or is yet to come, with every name and every person that we're connecting with, and every time I say let go, surrender, or release, you could use that as almost a trigger or a key or a sign to strip a bit more back. See how far and how deep you can release and let go and surrender in these moments. So every time the words are said, release a bit more. Jayne B, let go. Robin Hippler, surrender. Christopher Regan, release. Rebecca Ross, let go. Suzie Nicholls, surrender. Priscilla Kimboko, release. Yvonne Kruzich, let go. Bridget Mehrtens, surrender. Janice Chalmers, release. Sandi Greenham, let go. So at this point, I'm feeling quite a very strong emotional release right now. So let yourself really peel these layers back. It's up to you how deep you take this and how thorough you want your releasing to be. You cannot let go of what you're not ready to release or the things that are working for you. So know that you'll surrender, you'll release, you'll let go of that which you no longer need to be carrying, that which does not support you or is not healthy for you moving forward. Joanna Levine, surrender. Kathleen Glen, release. Rayna Ortiz, let go. Avril Daly, surrender. Pamela Florea, release. Marguerite Pepper Brady, let go. Nicole Wiggins, surrender. Jayne Larson, release. Angie Griswold, let go. Kimberly Veness, surrender. And things are now feeling like they're dropping deeper. almost like we're going underneath the surface now. Maybe even into the shadows or the dark parts of ourselves. Emily Fussell, release. Viktoria Daniels, let go. Bathsheba Dixon, surrender. Joanne Monroe, release. And this is dropping deeper now down into the body, down into the hips, down into the womb. Andrea Stuart, let go. Angela Fraser, surrender. Jane Corlett, release. And maybe just do a scan. If this resonates with anyone who's connecting, a scan of your shoulders. Just make sure your shoulders are relaxing and releasing in rhythm with the depth that we're moving to. So maybe just do a scan. Make sure there's no burdens or heaviness or weight that you're carrying on your shoulders. Maybe just roll your shoulders back and just let the burden and the weight go. Teala Smith, let go. Magenta Borealis, surrender. Tash Gerlach, release. Alison, let go. Nicole E, surrender. Michele Burch, release. And last in this space is Anne-Marie Douglas, and we welcome Anne-Marie back after a break. And Anne-Marie and all of those joining in this last word here, words are let go. Anne-Marie Douglas, let go. Let's sit in silence for a few breaths. Okay, let's pop you all here in front of me. And let's do some drumming with Corey's Phoenix drum. This is from 2010. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play the drum. I'm going to take my microphone and pin it somewhere else because it rattles if it's too close. So hopefully it won't rattle. Hopefully you can work with whatever the drum stirs up in the microphone, and hopefully you can hear it loud enough. I'll just put it away as far as I can reach. I suggest that you keep dropping into yourself. And it's interesting, the more we let go or release or surrender, the deeper we can go. It's really weird, but that's the way that I've worked with energy for a very long time. So if I'm struggling to go deep with something, into the depths of myself, or to find meaning or understanding, or just to access that depth, I'm usually holding on to something that's keeping me afloat. So I liken this, there's a couple of visuals I have of this for me personally, is me laying on the water, face up. And if I'm wanting to go deep with something, like we're wanting to, well, I'm feeling this calling to really drop deeply into this surrendering and letting go and releasing. So I imagine that I'm letting go. The more I let go as I'm laying on the surface of the water, the deeper the water is going to allow me to drop into it. So as I let go, I drop down further. As I let go, I drop down further. As I surrender, I drop down further, or whichever word you want to use. And the more we release that we're holding on to, the deeper we can go. So we drop deeper down into ourselves. And the other energy I like to use to describe this as is on the opposite side of going higher. So if we were, say, a bird, like a pelican, so say a big bird, and we were a big bird and we wanted to take to flight or an eagle or something, but we were carrying all these sandbags, like a hot air balloon carrying those sandbags to give it some weight, or to help weight it down at the ground level. If we were an eagle or a pelican or some bird, and we were carrying all these sandbags over us that kept us weighed down, kept us heavy, then we're not going to be able to fly very high because we're carrying all this extra weight. So this other visual is that I imagine I'm cutting these sandbags off me and all this heavy weight and letting it just drop down. And as it drops down, it lightens me. That allows me to move or fly higher, to move into and rise into higher places, higher energy levels, if you like. So depending on whether, for me, whether I'm releasing to raise myself, lift my energy vibrations, or whether I'm releasing to drop deeper. Now, the energy that's very strong right now that I'm feeling in general is this dropping deeper. But maybe for you, you really resonate with the rising. So whichever and whatever works for you, or you might have another visual that resonates better for you. So as I'm drumming, I want to really support this space for us to now go deeper or go higher with this release. So what else can you release? You may know specifically, you may have no idea. Most of the time you don't know. So what else do you need to release? What else do you need to let go of? What else can you surrender? What's there at the tip of your tongue? What's there in the background? What's there in the shadows? What's there behind the bushes that you've not got to yet? Go into those places with the drum. Go into those places. Look at those unseen places within you, within yourself, within your life, within your relationships that you can go to now. So I'm going to, hopefully the drum will support you to do that, and that you are ready to see and you are ready to release, let go, surrender. I keep interchanging the words, so I'm just going with it now. Okay, let's unpin this guy. And there's nothing you can do wrong with the drum. Just listen and allow the drum to support you. And hopefully it will come through nice and clearly in the microphone. I will talk to you when I'm done. Enjoy.
So take some nice big breaths. And you may have tapped into some deep energy inside you. Maybe some pockets within you that you've perhaps been curious about in the past, maybe recently. Parts about you you've wanted to discover or you've wanted to drop into, or even hurt from your past that you've wanted to, deeply kind of scrape out from your insides. And you may have tapped into some of those places. It feels like little pockets or caves inside us have been revealed, or at least the doors revealed to us at this time. So when surrendering, what does that mean? Asks Bathsheba. That's a really good question. So when I'm in the energy or aligned with surrendering, no, I don't know that it's aligned with giving up to me. So surrendering to me, like I imagine, probably the best way I can describe how I feel surrender to be in regards to healing or releasing, is if I was standing and I just dropped back and just dropped things, just surrendered, just dropped everything. And fell back. I often imagine that I'm falling back into water, but it could also be like falling back into someone's arms. You know that little exercise that we do sometimes, maybe when we're children or when we're at retreats and things, that someone stands behind us and it's a trust sort of exercise where we just kind of fall back into them and they don't let us go. I don't know that I tend to imagine anyone else really standing there behind me, because it's not really a trust exercise for me, or maybe it is more than I realise, but really surrendering back into the water. The other thing too, I noticed when I was saying surrender quite a few times with the names of those of you on the healing list, I kept seeing the white flag, and I think sometimes too it's about putting down the weapons. It's about saying that, or admitting to ourselves perhaps, or giving ourselves permission to stop the fight going, to stop the story going, to stop the complaining going, to stop the worrying about that situation we've got no control over. I think in some ways it's like waving the white flag to ourselves, giving us permission just to stop that we've been keeping on going. That's kind of how I define surrender in this particular situation, I guess. So I hope and trust that helps. But that was a very good question. So it feels like these deep pockets, these deep dark pockets, these caves inside us have been revealed. And this is now an opportunity for those of us who want to
really deeply heal. And I keep getting these words, scraping out the past, scraping out the hurt that we've stored in these deep, dark pockets. You know, like skin tags that we have off our skin as we get older. We have these little skin tags. It's like that, but inside us. And in those little skin tags, in those little pockets, is like where that hurt has calcified or solidified or embedded itself. And I keep feeling this scraping, like we have a sharp knife and we're scraping it out, or maybe cutting away this tag or removing this pocket and letting it go now, surrendering it now, releasing it now, or whatever you'd like to use. So that's what I'm feeling too as we've moved deeper into this time of letting go and releasing and surrendering. So let's grab another card, see what this wants to add here. I'm going to put the protected card back and let's see what we've got. So the best card to help finish this off now, this healing event. What do we need to know as we move forward from here? How do we tie up those loose ends? How do we find the courage to take the action that's needed? How do we step up and say, no, that's not acceptable for me? Or how do we really put the past behind us so that we stop carrying that burden, that story, that wound with us? How do we leave it behind? How do we cut it away or scrape it away? Okay. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let me talk about this card and we'll come back to the comments. Hold on. Oh, I just realised my hair's a bit crazy today. Just looked at it. 87, incoming clarity. It's in the rise category. There's something light and bright about this, almost like this energy of the star or clarity, this light wants to shine in those little dark pockets that we've been storing wounds or storing our issues in our body, that this wants to shine from inside of those and bring lightness into those dark places. Down here it says a new level of thinking. So allowing how we think about something to change. Allowing how we think about ourselves to change. Allowing how we think about others to change. And it could be going from thinking of them quite highly to seeing their actions and thinking now, hey, I don't really want to associate with this person. That's what I'm finding myself doing this week with one particular person. So we might find our thinking and the way we think about something, someone, ourselves, giving ourselves permission for that to shift will also show how much we've released, because we can hold all sorts of everything in place by thinking them in place, by keeping that wound active, by continuing the story, by complaining about the same thing to different people. We're keeping that situation alive. We're keeping it active through our thinking and our language that we are communicating, even if we're only thinking it in our head. So is there something moving forward that can support you in what the work that you've done today in regards to your thinking, your attitude, your perspective that maybe needs looking at? So a new level of thinking. Open your mind. Be patient. Clarity is coming. So if things feel uncertain, sometimes we just got to let that go too and trust that clarity is on its way. It's coming to us. And at some moment over the coming days or the coming weeks, the clarity will drop in. So sometimes we need to let that uncertainty go and our worry about the uncertainty, unless it's urgent, or unless it's survival focused and it's really important for now. It's urgent. It says trust in perfect timing, creative thinking, so thinking about a situation more creatively instead of in a box, remain curious, and positivity. So an incoming clarity, an incoming light, an incoming spark that's very mentally focused, but will help potentially steer us in a new direction in regards to leaving the past behind and letting us move towards that new direction. Now, let's just read these comments, because if I can open them. Jane says, had trouble with the word surrender before due to past life. Saying Sanskrit Ishvara Pranidhana, I think, instead helped. Accept how it is, even if I don't like it, and breathe. Ask what's the lesson and how to move forward. You know, I really like that. Accept how it is, even if I don't like it. And that probably is a big part of that letting go, isn't it? And I guess it's such a, it works on such subtle ways, but very deep, powerful ways, that sort of thing and that sort of attitude, or that sort of shift of perspective, can help us clear layers of wounds that we've long held onto, that we've struggled to let go of. Also, Nadine says, faith that it will be as it should. Yeah. And I like also to think of it as trusting that if I don't need to hold on to it for my highest good, then I can trust that it is a good time now to release or to surrender. See it for how it is. Teala says letting go is hard. It can be hard, but be careful, because if you think it is hard and it does take a long time, or it is very difficult, that's a belief system that keeps it difficult and hard and taking time. I've seen people like Corey and I used to do a lot of one-on-one healing. We don't do it so much now, not in person. And we can move so much energy. So there's this one lady we were working on years ago, and we were shifting so well. It was all the energy was going out. And then she started speaking, and she started saying, I'm always dealing with this. It's never going to go. It's going to take forever. And we could see and feel all this energy we've just literally helped release just come rushing on back in. So I think we need to really be careful about our language. So Teala and anyone else who thinks that letting go is hard, and you know, it's not easy, but maybe it's easier than we think. So think about your language and how that might be able to soften the barrier, because our wounds don't want us to let go. They don't want us to surrender them. Our wounds want to stay active in our life. So our wounds, our hurt on whatever level, from whatever it might be that we carry, it wants to keep us low and hurting. So it wants us to believe that letting go is so hard, it's so difficult, it takes forever, it's impossible. It wants us to believe that, to keep itself in the driver's seat, if you like, of our life. So if we can soften our language and our attitude and maybe wonder or decide that maybe letting go is easier than I think. Maybe it won't take as long as I imagine. Maybe it's not as difficult as I am led to believe. Then we start softening and almost cranking the curtains to be able to peer into what it is we need to release or let go of. So yes, you can let go and you can do this. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Janice says, my first card was creation. Now I've chosen card 11, the Goddess Awakening. Interesting. I went deeper and deeper into Mother Earth and felt so much releasing. It's so nice, isn't it? Another really nice thing to do is actually lay down, if possible outside, but even laying on bed or anything like that, and just sinking and sinking and sinking into the bed. Working with the breath, working with releasing tension in the muscles, working with surrendering or whatever resonates with you personally, and just seeing how deep you can go into the bed, because that bed eventually does not exist, and you're just sinking like under the bed. Your body becomes so heavy, but yet it becomes so light. It's quite incredible. So hopefully you can carry this through. Hopefully you can carry this through into your life now. Hopefully we've softened and pried some hard doors open that have been locked and the keys been thrown away. Hopefully we've pried some of those doors open so you can carry this energy on over these next few days and really get deep into your issues and the stuff that's holding you back. It may require some releasing, as in facing what's happened. It may require some writing in your journal. It might stir up anger. It might make you feel emotional. But those energies and those emotions should move. So feel the anger, feel the frustration and anger in regards to what happened or what you went through or who was to blame and how angry you are at that person for not protecting you or violating your trust or whatever the issue might be. Feel angry at that person. Let yourself feel the real emotion, but don't hold on to it. Let it move. Let go. Let it release. Let that acceptance come in so that you can continue to move down that journey of healing. Because once you hold on to the anger, once you hold on to the story, once you hold on to the bitterness or the betrayal or whatever it is that it might be, that's when your healing freezes. That's when it stagnates. That's when it stops. Because remember, the energy wants to move. Emotions move with it, including anger, including sadness, including grief. And allow the feelings to rise. They'll rise in waves, but they'll move. If they rise and stay, you're holding on. So why are you holding on? And, why are you holding on? Because I feel angry. Why did they do this to me? I don't understand why this happened. It can be that sort of thing. And it holds it all at this height of anger or grief or pain or whatever. It holds it there. So just go through those thoughts in your mind that, I'm angry. Why did you let this happen? You were supposed to protect me or whatever it might be. And as you say those things in your head or write them in your journal, the energy moves because something shifts. The wave that's been building and building and building and growing gives way. And you might find that you have a peak. I find I go through these in waves and I have this peak of anger or this peak of emotion. And then as I talk my way through, I might pull a few cards, write down in my journal, but feel my way through that peak of emotion, that peak of intensity, it releases. It's like the storm passes. So if your storm stays, look at it, because there's something that you need to get, there's something you need to clear, something you need to face, so that the storm passes. The storm always passes. So if the storm holds, if the storm hovers, if you're stuck, then you need to do something, you need to move something, you need to say something, you need to come to terms with something, you need to face something honestly, a feeling or an anger or something, and deal with it constructively as you let the energy move. I hope and trust that resonates and that makes sense, but really is important to be able to get the most out of your healing. And this is why for some people things don't move. Jane says, every chance I get lately, I decide to release with the out breath. It is so helpful. During the day, it came to mind many times to do it, and it helps. Feel the feelings and let them go with the breath. Yes, and I'm also doing that many times a day. As I breathe out, let go. As I breathe out, release. And it really helps because then things don't back up, because things back up very, very quickly. So if you don't do it for a few months or a few years, it's going to back up. So then it takes more effort. So once you get that cleared out, once you feel clearer within yourself, there may be some regular letting go daily, in the shower, every day. As you're under the water, imagine the water washing things away. So all that stuff helps. It's basically helping you maintain your state of balance. And you're working with the energy, you're working with your healing. And part of healing is change. It is releasing. It is surrendering, potentially, if you resonate with that word. It is letting go. That's part of it. So as you commit to your healing, let that energy move, let it flow, and do it regularly as you can, to maintain your balance, to maintain your sanity. Thanks so much for joining me today. I trust you've enjoyed this connection. It seems this last kind of 10 or 15 minutes has been very mental. I find if I'm talking a lot and talking things through, it's quite mental healing that we're dealing with. So see how you go. I feel like we've gone through a whole lot of stuff today. Thank you. Oh, excellent. Yeah, water and shower. Yes. That's funny, Jane. So we've moved in lots of different layers. Come back to this video if you need to, anytime that you want to support and you want to go deeper with your healing. Maybe save this as one of your healing tools to come back to when things are really backing up and you don't know what to do. Come to a video like this that's really focused on releasing, because this has been intensely our focus today. Probably more intense than probably any other healing video I can imagine or remember that I've done in the past. Not that I remember them all. Now, next month, I'll be connecting with those of you on the healing list again at the end of December. So that's exciting. So if you want to be a part of that next month, please have a look on the video description link below if you're not included at the moment. If you are on the list now and you want to be a part of next month then as well, then I look forward to connecting with you then. Thank you. If you want to learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. So thank you so much for joining me today. This has been very deep and I trust has resonated and supported you in some way. Just always take on board what feels right to you and what resonates and speaks to you, and let the rest go. If there are things that I'm saying that you don't resonate with you at all, then that's okay. Just ignore them or try them and see if it may work for you. And if it doesn't, then just let it go. Not everything's going to work for everyone. Not everything I do is going to work for you in all ways, but hopefully something will help you more than before when you didn't know it. So thank you so much. I think that's all. Have a great rest of your day. I'll connect with you again very soon. Take care. And thanks for joining me. Namaste. Bye.